Hello, Steve White, Steve Outside 9. Well, I watched the Law and Order true crime series on Menendez brothers last night. Now, I know this came out a while ago, like years ago, but at the time I heard about it, but I didn't have access to it, and I just stumbled across it on 7 Plus, which is the streaming service for one of our commercial channels here in Australia, so I watched it. Hadn't planned to, took the whole night, it was 8 episodes, but it was really good. The actress from the Sopranos, I think Edie Falco is her name, she played the lawyer defending them. She was really great. The overall production was great, but I mean, it's Law and Order. I hadn't seen any of their true crime series, but the show is, top notch, so I'm not surprised. But there were a few things that did surprise me, because I was aware of the case from back in the day, mostly from the news, because I didn't have cable, we didn't have court TV or anything in Tasmania or even in Australia. So we just saw it on the news, and I remember it from back in the day. But the public sort of verdict was that they were guilty, and there wasn't really any question about it. I never really thought about it. Now, there's really 3 issues. Did they kill their parents? Yes, they eventually admitted it. Were they abused? Because the claim was that they were abused, SA. You can't say some words on YouTube. I think that has been proven now, and I think that was proven in the first trial, but it wasn't really allowed into the second trial, which is why they ended up getting life. They didn't get the death penalty, so there was some mercy, but they did get life. And I'm not sure that they actually deserved that. But it is unclear, because the third issue was, did they kill their parents, was it premeditated, or were they in fear of their lives? Was it self-defense, or was it, premeditated? Was it revenge and greed because they wanted their money? Or were they actually afraid their parents were going to kill them? Because that's what they argued. And people couldn't really believe that, and that is the hardest thing to sort of process about the whole case and all the claims. But if you could understand the nature of that sort of abuse and the environment that they were raised in and living in, the relationships they had with their parents, you can kind of understand how that sort of irrational panic or fear or paranoia could exist. So it's not impossible, but some things that have come to light is because I didn't know back in the day that there was so much proof of the abuse. They had family members come forward where things had been seen or shared with them. They had a cousin who had said that I think it was Lyle had told him what was happening, and none of this was really shared in the media. I don't really feel like anyone really knew about that. It just seemed to be they just claimed it after. It was called the abuse excuse. It wasn't taken seriously back in the day. Then again, abuse of that type, SA, particularly with boys, wasn't really understood or taken seriously. So things have changed, and there is some movement for another trial because some new evidence has come up. There's a letter that one of the sons wrote to the cousin that has been found, where he's clearly talking about the abuse, which proves it was happening at that time. It's not something they made up after the fact. And also there is something else of the time. There is a singer from the band Menudo who was managed on some level by the father, and there are claims, allegedly, that he abused, assaulted, SA, one of the singers from the band quite violently on several occasions in 1984 or 85. So this is about the same time that the boys, claimed that they were being abused. So we've got actual proof now, not just testimony, but proof now from one of the family members that this was happening at the time. And we have someone from outside of the family, doesn't have any, dog in this fight, that is claiming that the father was abusive and attacked him and SA and everything. So I think now they would get a different trial, because I think the public is more understanding and now there's more evidence. So there was some push a few months ago to get them a retrial based on the new evidence, and the assumption would be that they'd get a fairer trial because, it just wasn't taken seriously back in the time, and the media didn't report it fairly, and I don't think the judge treated them fairly. Now, the series clearly takes their side. There's even a scene where something that really should have been shown as being given in evidence or being told later was shown in the moment, which implied that certain things were real and true, but that wasn't particularly objective. So the show does take their side, but considering the media sort of was against them, it sort of is just balancing out on that, I think. But either way, the show was great. The case is interesting. There were things I didn't know about it. I doubted the abuse. I don't now. But I'm still unsure whether they were in fear of their lives and it was self-defense, or whether it was premeditated based on revenge and anger and greed or anything. So I'm not sure. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I just wanted to talk about it for a minute. I thought it was interesting. I've been watching documentaries since about the case, just to see the differences between the TV show and the actual the actual cases. But yeah, I think it's good that things like this get attention now after the fact, because sometimes they're not covered properly in the media, and things it should all be out there, not just some stuff.